Good. So we are live now. Maxim, thank you very much for joining me in the series of interviews with UK-based entrepreneurs. First of all, I couldn't not notice. I couldn't not notice. I don't know how to say it. That you're extremely young. So you're young in UK. You're from Bulgaria, right?
Yeah.
You're still at the university,
Yeah.
and you already have your business. How is possible?
Oh, it's a very interesting journey, to be honest. It all started a few years ago because that's not the first business that I'm developing with the team.
Mm-hmm.
It all started 4 years ago at school because there was an entrepreneurship club, and there we started a business about books, and we wrote the first self-development books for kids in
Wow.
Bulgaria, and we started selling it. It was a very interesting experience. I learned lots and lots from it. I learned that I love writing as well.
Oh wow.
And yes, exactly. And from then I realized that I really want to be an entrepreneur in my life. So I started finding courses all around the world about where can I study entrepreneurship, because I was based in the capital Sofia in Bulgaria, and in Bulgaria you cannot study entrepreneurship. There are no courses like that. So I started searching and searching, and everything I could find was just the normal business accounting, business economics, and I want to find something different. So I found Team Academy, which is the biggest learning cloud, and it's a company which helps people learn, and they provide bachelor degrees and master degrees in
Mm-hmm.
which you actually learn business, but in the practical way. Their methodology is called heutagogy, and it means self-driven learning.
Oh wow.
And yes, and there are no exams on paper there, so you're not examining like that. You're examining based on how you perform in your team, and from the first day in that company, in the bachelor's degree, you have to start a real company and develop your own business. So
Wow.
this experience is very, very interesting. I love it, and it's great.
So is it how many years are you gonna study there?
This course is 3 years long, and we'll have to develop several startups during those 3 years.
Oh wow, several. And you are now at your first startup.
Yeah. It's just the first startup here.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you more about the story of this startup if you're. So the story began a year ago. The other co-founder is called Nikki. He's also from Bulgaria,
Mm-hmm.
and we're both. He's a triathlete. I'm a middle distance runner. We used to train a lot. So he needed something to consume in order to sustain his energy for long periods of time. His
Mm-hmm.
dream was to finish a race called Vitysh 100. It's a 100-kilometer race, ultra marathon, and he wanted to create something that is tasty and gives you a lot of energy so that you can run for 10 to 12 hours. And
Mm-hmm.
he actually developed the recipe for this bar, and that's how it all started. And the problem in the beginning was because it's vegan and it's raw, it wasn't that tasty. So he changed a lot of the ingredients, and I helped him along the way. And now
Mm-hmm.
the bar tasty and provides sustainable energy. So it's
Oh,
great.
nice. So how's it called?
So right now it's called Dopamino. We registered the company about a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're deciding that we will probably register another company as well because we are learning. We're still very young, and the name is too long, although it has lots and lots of meaning in it.
Mm-hmm.
Dopamino, the idea behind it, it comes from dopamine, the neurotransmitter for motivation, happiness. Also, it should be cool amino, and also there are three upper letters in it, and it means Tao, which is the Chinese philosophy for harmony. It has
Oh.
lots of meaning behind it, but it's too long, and many people are actually confused when they hear about the name, because some people say, "Oh, it's dope. Does that mean weed?" And no, this is a very healthy bar. It has nothing to do with weed.
Oh, okay, I see. But it's not yet, you're not yet launched your product, so I can't yet buy it, or I already can.
Yeah, so the product is in its development stages. Right now, it's only handmade. And because we're in accommodation in our university, we don't have the certificates for health and safety. So now it's more like a handmade energy bar.
Mm-hmm.
But in the next 3 to 6 months, we're looking forward to buying machines or renting machines or finding outsourcing companies from India or Bulgaria or other places from
Mm-hmm.
which we can order thousands of bars. Now we are searching for a designer for packaging. There is so many things to be done, and we're so excited for it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Is it difficult to fund your startup? Like, do you have some investors, or you found it by yourself, or you're just trying to do everything by yourself as much as possible?
Yeah, right now we're doing everything by ourselves. Of course, we're searching for investors because our product is very different from what you can find on the market. If you go to the UK's shops in Tesco, Sainsbury, or wherever,
Mm-hmm.
you can find the basic energy bars, which are not really healthy because they contain added sugar, palm oil, emulsifiers, so many unhealthy things. While in our bar, it's very simple. There are just 10 ingredients and it's all healthy, vegan, raw, natural. So it has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
We searched for the competition to actually see what our real value proposition is. And we found out that the real companies that have similar bars to us are not based in the UK, they're
Mm-hmm.
based in the US, and their price is 2.5 times more expensive than
Oh,
our
wow.
bars.
What is the main ingredient in your bars?
So the main ingredients are walnuts, oats, chia, coconut oil. There are 10 ingredients, but everything is natural, like the cocoa beans. In other energy bars, you can find out that they use cocoa mass, not cocoa beans, and the healthy benefits between the two are very different.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's really good because I'm trying to live healthy, and I try to eat food and especially desserts with the low glycemic index. Do you know the glycemic index for your bar?
I don't know the exact glycemic index for our bar, but what I can say is that we don't have added sugar, so that
Mm-hmm.
all the sugar is natural.
Okay, yeah. So basically, the highest index probably will be the highest what you have in terms of ingredients. That's good. Do you find it difficult to doing business? Do you find it complicated? What kind of um, qualities as a person you need to show to be able to start, like to launch startups and carry with them on the way?
Oh, that's a great question. So 3 years ago, when we started our first startup, I was a maniac in self-development. I loved reading books, and I still love reading a lot of books, but they're mainly about self-development and not business.
Mm-hmm.
And you become a very different person for them. You grow and grow and grow and grow. But when you start your business, you realize, okay, I can be a great person, but if I don't know the laws, if I don't know the regulations, if I don't know everything important for starting a business and running not only by yourself as a solopreneur, but with an actual team, then you have to learn a lot more. So it's very difficult in the beginning because now we're learning the hard way, but the more joyful way, because in our course we don't have actual course books. We actually learn from our own experience, from our Google researches,
Mm.
from books, from seminars. and shared
That's
experience.
exciting, yeah. Well, what I noticed, it's not necessarily you need to have like business degree or like have some degree even to be a successful entrepreneur. It's kind of help, obviously, but not necessarily. Um, but if you would say what is entrepreneurship, what would you say?
Oh, entrepreneurship is about running your own business with your own purpose and your own passions and aspirations about life. That's what I would call entrepreneurship. Uh, and what you said about the degree, I completely agree with that. You actually don't need a degree. We had many discussion with our parents about whether we should actually go to study entrepreneurship and not just start by ourselves. And the difference is there are two main differences. One of which is after you graduate here, you have a degree, which is kind of a security for the future. And the other part is when you come here with an actual team of young people, we are all between 19 and 22, people who want to learn and start their own business, but they don't know how. You're put in a different environment, which is very productive from what you've gotten used to live in. And because it's so different and so productive, you achieve much, much more.
Mm, so where you based? Where your school is based?
It's in Birmingham, in the center of Birmingham. It's called Aston University.
Aston University. Okay, that's interesting. And was it difficult to get in? Did you need to have like high scores, or what kind of criteria were used to choose people?
Oh, so in the UK, that's a completely new course. So it's not that difficult to get in. That was another struggle for me because I had the best grades at school and I didn't know whether I should go to a course which is not that high of a grade for now. The reason is because it's completely new and there are not so many people who are conscious and aware of what this course provides. So they're not secure of going all in there. But if they're not secure about it and they don't have the self-esteem to go in there, they're not real entrepreneurs.
I love talking to young entrepreneurs. Like I have a marketing company with my co-founder, and we help our clients to develop marketing strategy and put product out there, managing their social media and stuff. So we have one client who is also 19 years old, and his company produce things for blowpipes. I shouldn't say things, but so some parts for blowpipe to reduce moisture in blowpipes and help tackle the moisture disease, like moisture lung disease for bagpipers. And he's such a, as you, he's also very energetic, enthusiastic, and he always working. Like he has like he studied at university, he has his own company, and also he has part-time job. I mean, what it's I don't know, young people, I don't know why you're doing this. You're 19. When I was 19, I was doing nothing. So I'm really impressed by a new generation, and I have such a trust in our future, like talking, seeing people like you. um, how your parents feel about you being so far away from home, studying entrepreneurship, which is not easy and not the most secure job in the world?
My parents feel great because I'm in the UK and the standard here is very high compared to the Bulgarian one. Although in Bulgaria they're great startups, I cannot complain about it. But yes, my parents are really inspired about me choosing a different path. They always knew that I like different things from normal teenagers because while most of my friends went out drinking and then throwing up those kinds of parties and stuff. Most of the time I was at home reading books, self-development courses, and I was growing. So they knew that there is something different and they want to embrace it. And I'm deeply grateful for that.
That's awesome. You're talking about self-development. What kind of self-development program or maybe techniques you can share with other people?
Okay, so in terms of self-development, the biggest platform from which I've learned most of my knowledge is called Mind Valley. It provides about 35 courses, which are about anything, which would include many types of meditations, from beginners one to very advanced one, and depending on your goals. Other things are about finding your purpose or being in flow. Why finding your purpose? That's a very interesting topic about entrepreneurs. There's so many people around the world, where if you meet them and you randomly ask them, okay, what's your purpose? They simply don't know. And that's completely normal because it takes a lot of deep self-reflection, meditations, and knowing about yourself in order to actually find your purpose. And there are some other people who don't know what purpose is. So I love to help people find their purpose because I struggled with that a few months ago as well. But when I found my purpose, and you can actually find out that there is more than one purpose in your life, and purpose is something very dynamic and it changes throughout your development stages of life. But purpose is the combination of what you're good at, what you love doing, and how you can help the world while doing it. It's a combination of those three steps.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to help people find their purpose, and I can help everyone who is interested in finding their purpose to actually find it.
Oh, that's interesting. Could you share with me later on the name of the program you mentioned? And also about finding purpose. Could I ask what purpose do you like consider for yourself?
For myself, I consider three main purposes. First of which is accelerating individuals' growth. It means everything from life coaching, helping people to grow. My second purpose is raising human consciousness. This has to do everything from meditation, yoga, exercise, more positive thinking, just helping people actually raise their vibrations. Because right now, especially during the pandemic, there's so many people who are in fear of what could happen to their health. And I completely understand them and accept it, but I really want to help them throughout this process in order to feel better. And my third purpose is about accelerating technological planetary growth. So one of my goals in the future is to learn something connected with coding, programming, in order to help the advancement of technology and create the next Apple or something like that.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know. Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna be following very closely your progress and see. I think it's exciting that you work on your purpose development and you kind of stated what is your purposes are because it's kind of help you to make decisions, I believe, and even in day-to-day life, I don't think you have a lot of depression because you have your purpose and you have kind of path to follow it. It should help a lot, I think. um, in terms of finding your purpose when you're like very young, uh, do you see your purpose change if, for example, you will get a family or something like that?
of course, purpose can change. And that's why I'm telling people that there is no one purpose in your life. There are multiple purposes in your life, and you just have to find them and observe them and then follow them. There's so many people who actually run businesses and they create those statements about mission, vision, values, massive transformative purpose, but they don't know how to develop that within themselves first. And that's super important because
Hmm.
imagine that you're your own company inside your body and you actually want to explore what your company is. So you can do it by creating those statements for yourself. What is your mission? What are your values? What is your purpose? How do you see yourself in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? there's so many things that you can learn about yourself that are going to help you a lot in the future.
You mentioned you would love to help other people to find purpose. Do you do like life coaching, or what kind of, or it's just conversations, or you just want to share information? How do you ready to help other people to find purpose?
I'm ready to help other people find their purpose in whichever way is comfortable for them. I don't mind. There is a structure in finding your purpose, and I'm not the guy who actually created this structure. I just learned it from multiple books and restructured it in a simpler way. So if you're interested in finding your purpose, the first thing you have to do is to create a list of 15, 20, 25 things that you're very, very curious about, because curious drives you in order to learn more things about the world. When you know your curiosities, you can actually develop your passions. How do you develop your passion? By developing autonomy. And what is autonomy? Doing 1 hour a day, whatever thing you're most curious about. And how do you know what you're curious about? By finding your curiosities. And when you start actually practicing and practicing, you develop passion. And what is the next step? The next step is finding your purpose. But how do you do that? You have to list 10 to 15 problems that really bother you in the world, that you really want to solve, that drive you insane, and you would really work even without being paid for it to solve these problems. And when you find those, you can connect them with your curiosities and your passion, and that combined can be your purpose. And when you create your purpose, then you can explain it even better by dividing it into smaller goals. For example, my purpose is to accelerate human growth. How will I do that? I can I can be in your podcast. I can be write a book about self-development, or have one-to-one sessions with people that they really want to help and contribute in their own lives. There are many goals in which you can find it, and then you have to do the action everyday steps and create those habits in order to embrace your purpose and do it every day, because otherwise you can actually, okay, not forget it but not practice it, and by not practicing it you're not going to follow it, and when you don't follow it, then you go into the depression and the lower states of consciousness that you're really trying to escape.
That's fascinating, Maxim. I think it's that's awesome. Do share your knowledge with people? How do you share it? Just like in podcasts, or do you have Instagram? Do you have social media to share your like your like knowledge on self-development?
The way I share it for now is by expanding my network as much as I can. When I arrived in the UK, I was thinking, okay, how do I expand my networking now? I'm in a different country. I want more people to help. So I created lots and lots of business cards. I started expanding my Instagram page. I started meeting many people around different courses, having one-to-one sessions, going to coffee shops when they weren't closed, as they're now during the lockdown, and just going out a lot, meeting more people, and trying to help them in all the ways that I could.
That's fascinating. So you have Instagram, right? Because self-development, the main social media you could use for it is LinkedIn and Instagram. So on Facebook as well, to be honest. So Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'm saying as a marketer. So if what should I type to find you on Instagram?
Oh, my name is Maxi with X dot Christ. That's it.
Maxi?
Maxi dot Christ.
Maxi.
Maxi, just Maxi without the M. My official name is Maxim, but actually no one calls me Maxim. It's too official.
Oh, I like your Instagram. It's looking good. Okay, I'm gonna follow you from our company page, and I have an idea. If you to kind of share your knowledge about self-development, if you do, will you be interested to do a post in our social media where we will feature you and explain your tips on how to build this self-development, how to find purpose. So about what you've been saying about writing 25 things you're curious about, this kind of steps. And if you can send me a picture, I will be just post it. And maybe a short quote from you, something like what you would love to say to people, and we will be happy to share in our Instagram. Great, that's really fascinating, Maxim. So much to learn from you, even you're so young. Sometimes people, older people, I'm kind of guilty in that as well sometimes, but because I know quite a few young people who are like extremely developed and much more developed than me, I kind of not doing it much, but some people do. It's very difficult to hear what young people say because you have like all these years and different situations you went through, so you remember yourself being 19, and it's very difficult to hear what young people say because you're just like, seriously. But when I listen to you, I totally can relate and can trust you on what you share as your experience. So thank you for sharing with me. I will move us to the second part of the interview. I'm gonna ask you short questions, very short, and just few, and you try to answer as short as possible. So the first question: what is the most important in life?
The most important thing in life is to find your purpose and to grow consistently.
Perfect. Do you want to travel? And if yes, where would you love to live in the future?
I would love to live in Barcelona or Miami, Los Angeles, your big city.
Oh, I see. So you're a warm bird. You want to live in the warm cities, not like Seattle, Reykjavik, Moscow. Okay. I see. What is the most important? Finding purpose. We answered what is entrepreneurship for you. If you would describe entrepreneurship in one word, what would it be?
Yourself.
Oh, nice. Oh my gosh, I love this answer. Yeah, basically. Or team, maybe. But yourself even, yeah, that's really cool. Yes. And do you have entrepreneurs in your family?
Yes, both my mom and dad are entrepreneurs.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So some statistics, 90% of people I'm talk, like entrepreneurs I talk, 90% from entrepreneurial families. So it's kind of just, if you can see it from young age, it just runs in the family afterwards. So pretty sure I can predict that there is a high chance that your kids are going to be entrepreneurs as well.
Yeah, we can discuss that in another talk about the reason for that. It's very interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tell me more. I think we have a few minutes. Tell me more about reasons.
The reasons are because when you're a kid, since you were born to the age of 7, the way your brain works is very different. So there are different waves in your brain, which are called gamma, alpha, beta, uh, theta as well. So when you're from the age of 1 to the age of 7, you operate mainly in the theta waves throughout the day. And the theta waves are connected to learning everything, being open to everything, and not having any critical thinking. So when you're a kid, it's like you record the whole life for 7 years straight. And depending on what your parents are, you just record that information, and then you become somehow a copy of them. So if you see your parents as entrepreneurs, not having schedule, but running their businesses every day and learning new things, struggling but succeeding as well, then you actually record that and then you copy it, because that's your information from which then you have your thinking.
Oh, that's interesting, fascinating. So now I have kind of some science behind my statistics. That's awesome. Maxim, thank you so much. And thank you for joining me in the series of interviews with UK-based entrepreneurs. Please, guys, follow Maxim's Instagram. Maxim, what is the best way to connect with you? Is it Instagram or LinkedIn? What do you prefer?
I prefer Instagram. I use it more than LinkedIn, although LinkedIn is more official and more professional.
Well, true. So, how we can find you on Instagram in LinkedIn?
You can find me on LinkedIn by typing MAXI HRISTOV.
Mm-hmm. And Instagram as well, MAXI HRISTOV. So, Maxim, thank you so much, guys. Please stay in touch for more interviews with UK-based entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Anna. It was a pleasure for me to record the podcast with you.